CURE Podcast.
Hey, thanks, Satan. This is Gavin, and I'm joined by Chaz and Antonio. Welcome to the Halloween episode.
Thank you. Love.
Hello, my fellow evil creatures. Hello, my fellow evil creatures.
Dark and mysterious over here at the Holy Hour headquarters. Indeed, we we don't do too many holiday episodes, so we figure we really gotta pay tribute to the one, as I call it, the one good holiday, the one fun holiday.
The holiday that you don't argue about politics with your aunt at the dinner table, you know?
Yeah,
because they don't come around because it's all about Satan.
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
have to disappoint everybody with what present you did or didn't get them. You don't have to. You don't have to light fireworks. You know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you can.
It's a long list. We'll see.
Although, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll give out fireworks to the kids this year for Halloween.
Yeah, that's always a good one.
Like, here's an M80, kid. Have fun.
Yeah. Explosive devices are always the best.
Yeah. Maybe the next house will have a box of matches for you because I can't give you everything.
Totally. So yeah, we in the past have done a lot of feature song episodes for Halloween. Kicked it off with some costume talk. We dabbled into some excommunication station crossovers of the scariest of scary topics, and this one might even kind of fall back into that there. So we're gonna hang out and
CURE Purgatory.
for this episode, and we'll disclose what that means exactly shortly. But do you guys got any big Halloween plans? At the time of coming out, this will be the 29th of October.
Yeah,
So Halloween
actually, I will be going into New York City, where I hail from the outskirts. We're going to Barry Ballroom to see My Life with Thrill Kill Cult.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that'll be
appropriate
fun.
one.
Yeah, it's a very appropriate, fun band to see on Halloween. Right in the right in the Lower East Side, in the Village, like my favorite part of the city. So that should be a good time.
Cool.
Yeah.
How about you, Chaz?
My Halloween plans will almost be done by the time this comes out because we're going to California to Universal Studios for the Halloween Horror Nights. So yeah, that's our big Halloween thing this year, and then we'll
You'll
just
be celebrating Halloween for like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
No, we're only going there for like 2 days, but then the rest of the time we're gonna see other things and do other things. But yeah, that's kind of our Halloween thing, and then we'll probably just like hand out candy or something. Last year it rained, so hopefully it doesn't rain this year. So
Yeah, true.
yeah, so
nasty old weather. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Are you guys gonna dress up for either of those? Do you do costumes to the Thrill Kill Cult show and travel with?
Yeah, we are. I think Melissa knows what she's wearing. I have no clue. I'm such a terrible last minute costume person.
Costume guy.
Yeah.
You're just gonna duct tape some spices to your arm and be Spice Man.
Well,
scary spice.
Also being a Cure nerd, I was kind of contemplating being Balin.
There you go.
If I can get that pulled off by Halloween,
Cure nerd or Star Wars?
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Star Wars, because we were talking Star Wars before.
Yeah. I was like, is he in the Cure now?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he could be.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not.
Oh yeah, R.I.P. Yeah.
But yeah, that sounds cool. How about you, Chaz? When you do the
I think my kids might be packing stuff to wear to Halloween Horror Nights, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not packing anything to wear. I mean, I'm wearing clothes, but not any.
Oh,
type
good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you might get arrested.
Yeah, California's not that liberal.
Anything goes in California.
Yeah. And then when they come back, if we go out trick or treating or candy, handing out candy, I usually either wear my donut costume or my Baja Blast costume. So
Nice. Yeah, you still got it on standby.
Yep.
Cool.
Ready to go.
Yeah, I'm terrified with the idea of it. At some point, the kids kind of hit that age where they don't want to do it anymore. I was like, oh no, are yours there?
Oh, not at all. I mean,
They're still into it.
Yeah, they're still into it, and I mean, even to the fact where my son is a little conniving genius. He gets 2 costumes and he changes and goes and hits the good houses with the good candy again every year.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how much he's still into it.
Very cool. Is Jonas into it still
No.
too? Or? No,
Yeah.
Done with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the high school does a dress up day for like they do they do like some kind of weird thing with like
Yeah.
you can wear it and they have competitions or whatever. But
That's cool.
yeah, but
Yeah.
maybe they'll be into it a little bit more than Braden's really still into it. So
Cool.
yeah. What about Henson?
He's totally into
Good.
it, yeah, and I think that's where my love of it came from because I got so
Yeah.
cut short because I had older brothers, and they just were like done with it, and nobody else was. Like,
Yeah, that's the thing.
Man,
Yeah,
I'm only
and I couldn't
6.
have fun when I was a kid with it because
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go trick or treating this year. Fuck that.
Yeah, that's what we keep it rolling. He's real big on. We're real close this year to doing triple Robert Smith different eras. Because he really wanted to be. Robert
yeah,
Smith,
that'd be
and I was
great.
like, sweet, that'd be cool. And KC does a better Robert Smith than all of us, so that'd be good. But then at the last minute, he got super into Indiana Jones, so we're going full Indiana Jones tribute. I think.
Nice,
so
nice.
That'll be good.
I could have come
Well,
down and I could have been Robert Smith past 2008.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's I figured, I mean, he has all the different phases. We could,
or Gavin, you could have been Han Solo, and Henson could be Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
Same person, different characters.
yeah, like Harrison Ford
Yeah,
characters.
yeah.
Casey was like, "Well, what does that mean?" I'm like, "You could be like
Casey could be the
Amish,
fugitive.
like,
Yeah.
fugitive."
or she could just put on a suit and be like, "Get off my plane."
"Plenty of
Yeah.
options."
The one where he's the Amish dude.
Yeah, that's what I'll say. Just put a little
Witness.
Amish outfit on.
Yeah.
It'll be adorable. But well, let's get down to cure business, guys. We don't have long. We have to do experiment here in the realm of purgatory. It's not quite heaven or a vision of hell. So I guess the wasteland there. And I guess I wanted to ask you guys too before we officially dive into cureness stuff. Purgatory growing up, was that a fear or anything, or mentioned in any of your religious upbringing, or is that even just or they just worry straight about hell for you guys?
Antonio, you want to do that one first? And then I'll chime in?
I'm like, yeah. I mean, we were pretty much going straight to hell.
Just no messing around.
Yeah, it was also different depending on like I went to a Christian school, so you also had like the different, types of Christian umbrellas all went to one school. So it's like, you had the one family whose one church had the whole like, well, people are in purgatory until this point, and like kind of, and then some are like, nope, heaven and hell. And then some are like, well, no, we don't go to heaven until Jesus comes back. And I'm like, well, then where do we go? So
it seems like there's a lot of factors.
Yeah, I mean, like even within the umbrella of Christianity is a bunch of different umbrellas all fighting each other. So as if they aren't fighting the world enough, they fucking fight each other.
Then you got to fight in the afterlife too.
Yeah,
you have to earn your whatever.
I mean, it also is one of my favorite indecision songs.
There you go. Yeah.
Cool.
There is no purgatory.
Yeah.
That is made up by the evil Catholic Church for lazy Catholics.
Dun, dun, dun.
Shit or get off the pot.
Yeah. You're either in or you're out.
Is it mostly a Catholic?
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
then? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, like I said, I think there are some forms of
There are some forms of Christianity that are like have like more traditional. Not values. I don't want to say that.
It's like semi-Catholicism without like
traditional, traditions and stuff. Yeah. So, but for the most part, raised that there was no such thing as purgatory. It's just straight heaven or hell. So
shout out to the Catholic Church though for having like really good like backgrounds for horror movies though. So I mean, they're good for something.
Yeah, I mean, it is like the world between worlds.
Yeah,
a layer of some wiggle room there where you can re-earn your. That's what I did get. Is like if you sin, so then you get like a chance to write it in the afterworld and that. But I mean, or you just screwed up so bad you go straight to hell, or what's the deal there?
It's there is something in the Old Testament about a land of the dead, which is in between heaven. It's not hell, but it's not heaven, but it's still not great. And I believe that's where it came from. But it's also like a props to them for putting it in there because it's like you have a chance, And
Yeah.
It's like
there's
the
a
second
chance in the afterlife, and Christians are like, "Fuck that."
It's like summer school.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You got to make up the grades.
It's like you fucked up,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you gotta last.
And I assume it looks like the Upside Down from Stranger Things, you know?
Oh,
like-
You're like, man,
Man, this kind of sucks. Yeah.
it's like, and this is nothing compared to hell. So
Yeah.
you just get your act together, Mister.
Yeah, but I mean, you also have
Cool.
it in like Dante's Inferno, and
Right.
you know where everything progressively gets worse the further you get down. So
Right.
you know you'd rather be up in that first level.
First tier.
It's like a hot sauce bottle. Like there's the levels,
Hey,
of the
yep,
little
Scoville,
peppers.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm only on the one pepper hell. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So how does this pertain to the Cure? I thought we could work anything into Cure talk. So I figured the Cure version of Purgatory, I think we could all deal with the fact that certain shit is just never going to happen for the Cure, or certain products maybe we'll just never see. But there's always the hope when it comes to Robert Smith in an interview. And that's kind of Cure Purgatory, is all the empty promises or hopes that haven't quite come through yet. So we thought this episode of Cure Purgatory, we will list, in fact, all of the Cure albums, DVDs, movies, books, everything that has been sort of declared is going to be coming out at some point throughout the years, with a few citations even to confirm that he said, oh yeah, it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of floating out there. Could still happen. Maybe not. Maybe will. Let's see if they can earn their right in the Cure back catalog in the Purgatory years. So, on top of that, it's a long list, so we better get rolling.
We've been in Purgatory for 15 years now, since the last album.
Yeah.
And we have these little glimpses of hope here and there.
Exactly.
But I don't know why is
we all
that
know what it's building to. So.
Why is that
What's
album considered the point of heaven, like the new album?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be?
is.
Why wouldn't it be the two tours that we got? Which between the two, there's definitely a purgatory there where you're just like, there's definitely a large, gap between the years where it's just like, you're waiting, you don't have that new album, but it's just like, I don't understand why that's the end all be all.
Even when the Songs of the Lost World, the tour was announced when it was only Europe, we were like, is it ever going to come to the US?
Yeah. That's,
you know what I mean? Like we've
that's
literally
almost hell.
Yeah.
That was hell.
We've had a lot
of waiting.
Yeah, we've had a lot of purgatory and hell over the last.
Not only don't we get the new album, we don't get to see them. This is so fucking stupid. We're not rich.
We've got to listen to the new songs on people's shitty phone cameras on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I guess that fits with the disclaimer I did want to pin at the top of this, is that, kind of going with Chaz said too, we did get the tour. We're all super excited for that. I don't want this to come off as a bitchy, whiny list at all. We're not owed anything at this point. Yeah.
Never.
But it is fun to point out, and, we've been kissing their ass a lot in the last few episodes, so we can kind of poke the bear a little bit at this one, right?
Yeah,
so,
I think Robert calls us the whiny bastard podcast, but that could be
that's
right,
whiny
yeah.
bastards.
So we'll try not to sound too harsh in our whinings and say that we're owed this, goddammit, So most of it is already even technically out there. You just have to hold on to those RCA cables and, keep your tape decks clean and stuff like that. So I thought we'd dive in. It'd be fun to see where it goes from there, and, kind of remind everybody, oh wow, there's a giant coyote running across my yard. Sweet. That's a weird.
You summon the beast.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it's a hellhound.
Yeah. It's like, oh boy. See what happens when I do the religious talk, Chaz. I summon all the demons. So let's go down the list, see what we got, and what seems like it could possibly come out still, and what's just, you can see why it didn't come out maybe. So let's kick it off with show, because we'll start off with mostly video stuff here at the top, because that seems to be the larger category of all of it. But show, we did get a remastered picture disc on vinyl. We got a regular picture, or just a regular vinyl reissue, but no remaster of the actual video concert footage of show for Blu-ray, for DVD, for streaming. You know, we all got it in the back of our head now that they did remaster and put out that play out, which was super cool, and they didn't make a big deal out of it, which is kind of the angle I wish they would just put the stuff out.
Yeah.
You don't have to, make a record store day release out of it or anything. You don't have to declare it's coming out 6 months in advance and we all count down the minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, just put the fucking thing out, if it's there, it's there. Because I get the argument of like DVDs and shit now. Even Blu-rays, it's tough to like, do people really buy it? I mean, Cure fans would. So
Yeah,
but
yeah, for
like,
sure.
But it is a tough argument of like, why put all the time and money into this like fucking Blu-ray that everyone watches once and then like just streams it off of YouTube because they're too lazy to get up and get the disc out of their cabinet.
Yeah,
we're all guilty.
Well, not to mention the fact that the price on them, like when you find them like used, sometimes they're not even open. You can buy them for like $4 and $5. So I feel like people are hesitant now because they're like, well, I know you're not going to pay 30 because once it's used, it's only worth like 4. Like because like people care but don't care. It's just weird.
Like it hurts when it's like, I've already waited 30 years for this. I could wait like maybe 2 more years till it's like it's calmed down and people are reselling their shit. So it's it'd be cool in the sense for show to be reissued or at least just clean. Don't even really have to clean it up. You could just pull it from the laser disc or whatever. The old VHS I think would be fine. Nobody's gonna really want it in 4K or something or reshoot the whole thing. It'd be nice if they put it in, but just put it out. But it would be cool to have it because that show video did have the full encore and everything that isn't on the CDs, the streaming, or the vinyl, or any of that shit. We got a little bit more with the new vinyl extended out, but none of them have like a forest and stuff, and that whole cool wrap up, and the encore has like To Wish Impossible Things and shit. So it's cool to see that stuff again. Robert Smith did promise a DVD release of show back in 2010. So actually, that's a little footnote here for all these. Around 2010, when the Disintegration reissue came out, I believe, he kind of went on a big rampage, saying of all these cool things that were going to come out. So we're going to hold him accountable there, where he said 2010 is going to be a mega year for reissues. Right. And Slicing Up Eyeballs, that website, did a 2017 kind of list of this, where I took a couple from there, but we've expanded on that, of course, since 2017 even. So a couple of these are taken from that website, so I wanted to give them credit. But 2010, you said it's coming out. So, we're going on 13 years now. Yeah, since then.
Well, I mean that is that's yesterday for Robert. Almost
almost
his days
14
are decades.
But so it's hard to say. I think I wanted to lead off with that one because of the show anniversary. So this seems like it would have been the year that we would see something, if not. But who knows? They don't have to stick to the anniversary thing too complete.
They don't have to. It'd be nice to get some consistency.
Just so we can keep some kind of track on this shit.
Well, it's like,
would you guys be down though? Would you buy the? I guess we could do a quick vote on all of them. Like thumbs up. Would you buy it? I mean, obviously, if all these came out, we couldn't buy them all
in one shot. Max out my credit card.
Get divorced.
Nice Blu-ray came out though. Would you guys be down with that?
Absolutely. Yeah. And there's a way they could do it where they could package a lot of these together. I don't think it's but like as far as consistency goes, like the Black Friday record store day, like there's no Cure release, and
the one coming up,
left some fans upset. So
it seemed to have been a pretty consistent thing over the last few records.
Everybody's
and we'll get into the music side, but Paris is the kind of glowing, like, oh, what the fuck, Paris would be nice to have on vinyl.
That's what everybody was expecting. Like it was almost like, I put money aside to go pick this up on record store day.
Next on the list will be Paris.
$40, and like, nope. What I would really like to see happen, and it probably never will, is like a box set of like an official box set of the Cure, which is crazy that it hasn't happened. We have so many other bands that have box sets. There were 2 unofficial ones for like the first 4 or 5 albums, I think, or first 4
Yeah.
through like Russian.
For the CD ones and stuff.
Yeah,
you
well,
mean?
there was a vinyl one that my wife got me one, and then the other one eludes me. But it's those were the closest things that we've ever gotten.
Imagine how heavy it would be.
That's the catch though. Is like it's cool, but at the same time you're getting this freaking thing that would cost a fortune. And then when they do something like that too, and they leave something out, it kind of stings a little bit more because you know they're not going to loop back around.
Yeah.
And you know, there's always something like even with the Wish one, there's a few where we're like, oh shit, but it didn't have this, you know, and you know that that's not going to be on anything going forward.
You've seen so many of these bands do box sets, like the Rolling Stones, and you know, I saw a Guns N' Roses box set the other day that was fucking enormous. And like it came in like a case and so I mean I'm not asking anything like that, but there's a way that they could do it where you know they could actually do a box set of just like official albums, or you know you could do a box set of singles because the Clash did that too, where it came in like this
Depeche
awesome
Mode
little
did that too.
So
and there's ways too. They did pretty good with the Wish one, but to utilize all the formats to almost work together in a sense too, where you could do like with streaming would have everything, and then you could buy like just a DVD of show or something, you know, or a Blu-ray. But then, you know, not necessarily show, but you know, on some of these that have like the more like the deluxe reissues and shit, where you could put some stuff on something, but not, you know, just to save a little bit because you can't. And we'll get into that with the deluxe albums and stuff, CD versus vinyl, because you can't put all those demos and shit on the records, or you'd have like a 8-disc record thing, you know. So I mean, they could do a box set about
they could do a box set of live stuff. They could do
so,
you know,
or just concert videos, and
in
stuff
Orange,
like that,
you know, Paris show. Bestival.
Yeah, and there's a couple of these that actually those ideas did come up. So yeah, let's continue on then. As you said, In Orange is the next mega one, if not the one everybody probably wants the most. Blu-ray, streaming, anything would be great for that. There is a real good 4K high def version on YouTube. A lot of times it came out and it got pulled down, but it seems pretty consistent that it's out there now. But I did just stumble across trying to find some quotes on it and stuff on Reddit. I don't know if this is the current one that's up there, but it was a 4K version on YouTube, and the guy that posted it actually had a quote. He said, "Okay, it's me who is doing the remasters. To be honest, I took a Laserdisc source, and I did indeed a denoise, and I agree it's not 4K technically, but I did put a remaster in 4K in the title to be featured. I also hope one day the Blu-ray release will come out." But he said, "I still have a lot of videos that I cannot upload because they are quickly blocked, unfortunately." So it isn't technically, but you know, people are doing that, and that definitely gets us by and is cool and very grateful. But at the same time, it would be good. And even like I said with the Lost Wishes, it is nice to have just cleaned up ones officially out, that's the final, you know, that at least some kind of group of Cure people, if not Robert himself, declared this is the definitive clearest we're going to get, you know, so I don't have to worry about on YouTube if this one's a little crackly or sounds a little shitty, if this is the best version, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that's really out there besides the video is there's a bootleg LP that I
have it. I have that one actually. It's
But
actually really cool.
Yeah, but
it is really cool.
Yeah, it's missing tracks off of it. Though.
Yeah,
that's the biggest
and some
problem.
real good ones too. Some of the best ones aren't on there. I think like 6 different ways and stuff isn't on there, and so that's a bummer. But that was when I had to snag it when I got it.
Sounds pretty good, but it's just not. It doesn't have the whole concert. It's not.
And that's another way they could beef that up if they put out a Blu-ray, put out a just a CD of it too, and then put it on streaming, make it alive, That's not too much extra work. You're just pulling the audio off of it. And kind of a comment that I could put into all of these is how hands-on Robert Smith is on everything that gets reissued and stuff. I mean, really, he doesn't really have to be the one that fucking masters it and stuff. Too.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these, I
yeah.
don't think we're gonna be like. I mean, it's cool if he gets his approval and he gets his name on it even or something. But I mean, there's plenty of people that would be happy to do this
yeah,
for like
for sure.
$100 and just do it and get it out. You know, and he could just okay it or not. You know, but it's like he doesn't have to dedicate a whole year to going back and watching every shot.
Yeah,
of
but you know
show
what
and
though?
making
What else
sure
is he
it's
doing?
clear. Yeah,
You're not writing a new album, that's for sure.
Yeah, he is not mixing the new
Yeah.
and putting out the new
yeah,
record.
maybe.
Well,
So.
that's the thing is like it's it's already done. All you need is somebody to spruce it up, and nobody's asking for like a deluxe version with like the backstage outtakes or anything like that.
Like shit that we haven't already seen.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
So it is frustrating. Yeah, and that goes for pretty much all these. Did have a thing he said on a since deleted post on the Cure's official site in October 2009 announcing plans to reissue Disintegration. He promised a lot more remastered Cure stuff in 2010, including the long lost In Orange DVD. So that was in 2009. So. so yeah, and that's a weird one too because
More lies.
it does get the occasional like theatrical, or they do showings of it and stuff. You see like out in like LA and stuff. I don't know if I'm sure they're just showing the laser disc or something somebody pulled from the VHS onto a DVD. But I mean, it's got enough cred where it's not just some dude that owns an indie theater showing it. It's some kind of like screenings of it. So I'm not sure. Because normally on a lot of these, we could blame maybe the tapes are just super crappy at this point and you can't save them or they're lost or something.
Yeah.
But I think that one's probably in good shape enough. So hard to say. But you guys would be down with that one? Thumbs up for that one?
Yeah.
Would buy that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Blu-ray? Nah, good. Cool. All right, this is the one that I want the most, and this kind of falls into the box set or some kind of, because it doesn't officially exist. It's just a complete videos collection, right? All of them, because at this point we've only had their videos on VHS, and even those are broken up with the staring at the sea VHS. Then we have the Galore one, Picture Show, which had a few crossovers, but was a smaller sampling. And then the Greatest Hits DVDs, the only thing we have on DVD, and that's super limited. Even that, like for the coolest ones, you have to do the secret code on the menu to get to them. So there's tons of stuff that they can put on this. So only a fraction of it, and it doesn't. And we don't have like any of the, not that I really care that much, but the self-titled videos. It would be cool just to have as a complete collection. And the 413 ones were just kind of like live black and white clips, but they always kind of counted those as official videos for some reason. Cool.
What's the closest thing we've gotten to a full video collection? Was that the Greatest Hits one?
Yeah, I think the Greatest
that
Hits
would be the only
DVD,
thing.
So that's a shame.
And somebody's playlist on YouTube.
Yeah.
And even YouTube gets better at times. I've made this complaint before, but a lot of them you kind of have a mix and match from, was it Vivo and stuff? Like a lot of them aren't on there, even like some big ones.
Because YouTube's algorithm pulls them down quickly. Sometimes, and sometimes it gets by.
And I'm sure like a lot of these will kind of do in the conclusion of why these might not be out is a rights thing. Certain things probably have some kind of licensing bullshit that's holding it back, but I don't know. It's getting old enough now where I feel like they have enough pull. They could probably buy out whatever the fuck. If you could get Superman over to whatever universe, then you could probably, somebody could slide a check over and just put out a DVD.
Yeah.
But that would be my ultimate one. I'd love to have just like a solid, Blu-ray or just an official, put it on streaming if they're really anti-disc at this point. That would be fine too. Just really beef up a Cure video webpage that has all this shit, and you can just put them all in there.
And then leave it to a fan to make the
and then burn them to a disc.
Yeah.
Totally. Because those are tempting. When I've seen like people bootlegging them in a sense, or where they compile them, and I would pay up to like $30, man. Probably a little more, but at the same time, to have them all in one, that'd be great. And if you really wanted to do it cool, I really love like everyone those in between home footage things on the first, on Picture Show and Staring at the Sea was awesome to have those in between. To keep that kind of shit going would be really cool, but that takes a little more work, of course. But this one falls under the box set idea again too. In February, and this was one that came straight from that Slicing Up Eyeballs. I wasn't even aware of this, I don't think. In February 2014, The Cure issued a press release announcing that the band had sold out a pair of charity concerts at the Royal Albert Hall, laying out plans for the rest of the year. Among several tantalizing revelations was news that The Cure would be launching a series of live concert DVDs. No further information was offered, and to date, the series has not come out. This release also announced plans of a trilogy-style concert of The Top, Head on the Door, and Kiss Me, Kiss Me.
I remember that.
So not only did that DVD not come out, the show never happened either. I think that's the 2014 show where they pretty much did all a Top, sprinkled in, not in a row. But and that Royal Albert Hall one, the charity one, was awesome. They should have just put that out as a live DVD. But I don't know what this whole series of live ones was going to be necessarily. But I guess by that point, they hadn't done... Because that kind of bleeds into Reflections, of course.
Yeah.
Was filmed, was announced that was going to be a live DVD, which would still be rad to have that. And for some reason, they never said, why that didn't come out, or they just didn't like the way it came out, or what. Disintegration fairly recently in Cure World, that Sydney show should I think at one point they said they were going to release that even. I don't have the direct quote on that one, but... I think all those were pre the anniversary show and curation box set thing. So I kind of feel like all that got definitely defused by them putting that out, where they didn't want to just totally overflood us with later Cure lineup, doing old songs. But it would have been a cool box set, though. Yeah, especially the Disintegration and Reflections one would be awesome because they're very specific.
Am I misremembering? But did they say something along the lines of playing more Disintegration shows besides the Sydney ones, like similar to the Reflections tour?
Reflections.
Yeah.
I don't think they flat out said it, but yeah, they lightly hinted. Because I remember being like, this is pretty much it. I think we all kind of just speculated because it was starting to bleed into regular tour dates, I think, for the 2019 festivals maybe or something. So it was like, I think we all kind of assumed they would sprinkle a few more in, but then they all just turned into festival dates.
Yeah, I don't know if that was us just being whiny bastards.
I can't remember either.
Yeah, most likely.
Why Australia?
Moved to the...
Why?
He just really likes the opera house, I guess.
I guess so, but that's like, I don't know. That and this is just me being a whiny bastard. It's very, like, I understand that Australia has a huge fan base, but like, it's a fucking island.
Yeah, it's not the easiest spot to get to.
For me, it's like, isn't it for us, like, it's a 24-hour flight or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, when it's all said and done, it's not easy to get over there. Yeah, I mean, if you did it like if you just did it in London even or something, it would be way more possible for everybody to. Everybody would at least be able to come from all directions. But yeah, Australia is a little tough to get to.
Yeah, it's like do it at Wembley, like.
Yeah. The next one is Tim Pope's documentary, a video documentary that got a lot of talk around 2018, I believe it was.
Did we do an episode about this?
We did.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it.
I think it was weird because it was during that huge new flood of like after the Meltdown Fest, and he just started talking about the new album ID and how they were definitely going to do it. It was going to be out like real fast. He's going to record it real fast because he's super inspired. All these things, and we're going to put out a documentary about it. Tim Pope's back in action. They said that Tim Pope was even doing interviews saying that he got huge boxes from Robert's home movies, was going through all the footage. They already started doing it. I remember Chris White from CureNews.net said that he personally gave Robert his entire like VHS collection of like tapes and live shows
man,
and
I hope he got it back.
recordings. And
I know, right?
he did. I don't think he has yet. So hopefully he has. But he said it spanned from like 79 to 2000.
God damn.
So yeah, an absolute Cure gold mine and all this footage and shit. But that was like 8 years ago now. So
What year
it's
was
hard
that?
to say. It was around 2018 when they
Okay.
started talking about it.
Well, I
But I
feel
think
like Robert
even
was talking about a
further
new
back-
album before that because they had the 2 songs on the 2016 tour.
Those were leftovers from 413.
Was that? Okay.
Yeah, they were. It's so yeah, it's hard to say if this one's fizzled out or if it's like just so grueling going through all the footage or it's something. I remember
then
him saying at
converting
one
it.
point when he was starting to do all his ramble jambles about the new album and everything, when he was actually answering people's questions about this shit, where he said something along the lines of it was tough to do a documentary when the band's still going, you know, like where he
Right.
felt that
Oh my
with the new
God.
album coming out in particular, he felt like there was a whole new chapter that still needed to be done. So
Well, then you do
So
a
it's hard to
documentary of
say.
the band, splice in a documentary of making the new album, and then you do it together.
Yeah.
And it's
that's
just
the big finale.
The thing is that like Sonny from Hate 56 and like
Yeah.
how meticulous he is with old videotapes and old shows, and like there's people out there that like do this for fun, like that
Yeah.
break
Literally,
shit down,
yeah.
like would love to take on this task just as a fan.
Yeah.
And it's
On some level, you think Tim Pope would even be that.
Yeah, you would think he
fan.
would,
And
yeah.
so- but maybe he got like a movie going or something, and it just got derailed.
And you know what
but-
it is too. It would be hard for there. It's even hard for there to be unofficial ones, like when you watch some of them on YouTube,
Yeah.
because of how little stuff that Robert doesn't say, or B that he says and contradicts himself later. It's like you can't even like piece one together. Like you need him to be in on it. You need him to open up about things. You need because
And maybe that's what it was. They started filming some of those, and he was just like, "Oh God," because it was. I remember it came up almost in response to Lowell's book, where he said he
Right.
didn't want to write a book. He would rather do like a documentary where he tells the stories and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was kind of what kicked it all off, I think. But so yeah, maybe.
But now
it
Lowell's
got a
on
little
his
too much, like,
second book, and
therapy for him or something. He's
Lowell's on
like,
book
"Fuck
2, and we
this."
still don't have anything.
Yeah, so hard to say what the, but I feel like that is something that could happen still, like, whether they scrapped it all or it's just a real slow process.
Yeah.
I feel like somebody's going to do this at some point, or they'll find all the interviews he's already recorded and put it out after everything's done and buried or whatever,
Yep.
So, but hopefully we don't have to wait that long. We've said that before, but that'd be a cool one. I think we'd all love a big epic Cure tale where he's telling the stories, even if it is, like you're saying, whatever version of the story he's going to tell now versus what he.
Because honestly, it's also something that you could do like a limited theater release and people would go to. You know what I mean? Like make it a thing. Like
yeah. But that one takes a lot of work too, so I could see how he wouldn't want to do that, as opposed to like just putting an orange out. This actually does still involve taking some time. So then the last one, I should have saved that as the epic finale on the videos, but there was also talk apparently in 2013. I don't even really remember at this point. There was a Latin America tour where he made a big deal of everything being filmed, and Tim Pope actually filmed and directed a whole tour of Latin America shows in 2013. It was supposed to be released 10 years later. Doesn't seem too likely that.
Did
that
Tim
one will
Pope
pop
confirm that he did that, or was it the plans for him to do that?
That's what the thing I read said he did it, and it was all done.
God
but then it
damn.
just never came out. But they could be wrong, so I don't have a direct quote on that one. So
There's something
But yeah,
about
it seems-
South American concerts that are so much better than like just about anywhere else. That it's just like I would love to fucking see that.
me too.
sure.
Like the Cure in Brazil, something
Oh my God.
crazy like that.
yeah, that would be so cool.
Like a documentary
'Cause,
about
yeah,
that.
it's-
It's just like that's gold.
Yeah, because he would capture wonderfully too.
The fans and
really,
like the soccer
yeah.
atmosphere. It's just
Yeah,
like,
that
I
was
don't know.
Even if they do it in some of those the outside venues, like just the landscape and the
Yeah.
Kinda
because
gives you
anytime they
chills.
put any of those things out, like any bands when it's from South America, I feel like it's always better.
The metal shows.
Yeah, like
All the
Slip,
yeah.
like Slipknot in Brazil, like that DVD is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like-
I saw the Ramones, that they put out that Ramones documentary back in like the early 2000s or whatever, and they had the part where they went to South America and like
Yeah.
they were getting absolutely mobbed and like they'd never seen anything like that before. And it's just like,
Yeah.
oh man, let's see it.
They look like the mega festivals, but it's an actual show for
Yeah.
the band, you know? Or it's just like everyone going ape shit.
Mhm.
That'd be great. So let's move on to actual music, though. Enough of the streaming or Blu-rays or DVDs. There's plenty here too on actual listenable audio. Let's kick it off again. I guess with Paris is the most up, on deck one. It would be nice to have that on vinyl, even if it's just a picture disc. If it's a
Yeah.
regular one, whatever the hell, would be great. I was a little bothered again by the show not having it. I always cling to my CDs, and I like the deluxe ones. But you could put it out as a streaming and DVD and a CD. Put Paris with it. Just remaster both of them.
Yeah.
They already redid it for the vinyl. You could tweak that enough, I'm sure. It wouldn't be a big deal. I know Paris was comped by a bunch of Paris shows. It wasn't like, it was a little more hodgepodge where it wasn't a direct set list as much as show was too. So, I can't really make the argument of like, oh, I know there's a video out there, but maybe there is. I'm sure there's something they probably filmed from those even, but just to have as a bonus disc would be great of like a live Paris too. So,
I just don't understand how like both of those concerts are so like go so hand in hand with like Cure fans that I don't understand why you don't release them both together. But that's just me being whiny. Easy. But like it's just it would be a beautiful thing. But like I don't understand why we haven't gotten that other one yet.
It's like I really wonder, like, could it be that they just can't get it up to the digital quality? It's definitely possible because I mean, could you just do it and rip it? Yes. But now everybody's got a sound bar and everyone's got this. And was it recorded in like, was it coming stereo or mono? I mean, there's so many like dumbass factors, and it really could just be that he feels if you can't get it up to that quality, why drop it?
Yeah.
But like a lot of people don't care.
Yeah,
I was like, most people
I know.
don't like. Yeah, there's audio files out there, but like at the same time, it's like the original's good enough. We just want the product because the originals are so hard to get a hold of.
Right.
And like you have tape, like I have all those on tape, but like they deteriorate. I was like, I want something that's going to be long term, and I don't care about it can have the same quality as the tape. I don't really care. But like I'm not going to shell out X amount of money for a whatever, a picture disc or not a picture disc, a laser disc or something like that. So
but I think the issue is that he cares too much because look how long it took us.
I don't.
I know. But look how long it took us.
I don't give a fuck.
Another version of Wish. You know what I'm saying? That shit was pressed
but
one
that's
time.
different. like the Wish is completely different from these live things. Like I can understand taking your long ass time with like doing a deluxe edition of like Disintegration or Wish or whatever the fuck you want to do, but like we have already seen these products of Show and Paris. It was just like,
so it's like he put them out into the world
Orange.
already, and that sound is out there. So you can't really complain that you didn't like the way that it came out.
Yeah, we can't play a VHS tape of In Orange over and over again, but we could do that with a DVD. Or a deluxe CD, or even digital. But like there's a want for this and a need for this because the old formats that they were put on aren't as stable, and they're deteriorating and they break, and like we need something as fans that's going to be long term, and we don't have it. So that's the biggest issue I have.
Amen. I totally agree. So yeah, I mean that one would be there. And I think along those lines too, the grittiness is kind of what makes it cool. I want it to sound like 1993. I don't want it to sound like it just came out today. Especially if it's like an old live thing or something.
I want that camcorder footage of backstage. Like I don't need it.
Exactly.
I don't need it to look like 4K. Jurassic Park thing going on.
Right. Mixed Up 2 was supposed to be a compilation coming out, a sequel to the 1990 remix album. After 2010 came out and went without a release of Mixed Up 2, though, Robert Smith would speak again about Mixed Up 2 in a video interview in July of 2012. He said Mixed Up 2 was definitely coming out probably this side of Christmas in 2012. He said that. He explained the album will be our favorite bands remixing Cure songs and said that Mogwai had already given him a really awesome remix of Faith. So in a sense, I was like, okay, well, this did eventually come out as the deluxe edition, the torn down. But that wrinkle of it was all supposed to be their favorite bands remixing the songs, which is pretty rad.
Yeah.
Instead, we got Robert remixing all of them.
That's frustrating to me because he even did he had other people put their hands in stuff, but you're not going to do it for the other stuff that people actually fucking want. Yeah. I don't what's the percentage of people that want a Mixed Up 2 of Cure fans? 5% maybe.
I'll take it, but definitely not the top of this list. Is ones I'm putting a star next to. Only in the sense that if Mogwai already did a cool remix of Faith, I'll hear it. Let's put that out, just as a single or something. But
release it digitally and give the money to cancer kids. What the fuck?
Yeah. But so we got Mixed Up Deluxe Edition, which wasn't any new remixes. Even that was just kind of leftover mixes and stuff taken from other 12 inches. But then the Torn Down was all new remixes by Robert himself. So not sure where the other ones went, or if they just didn't materialize. Maybe they didn't write him back and they took too long or something.
Yeah,
how it can be.
Any of this is not even on my list.
Nah,
it got written on a piece of scrap paper and thrown in the trash.
Yeah. So, the next one was another box set. This one was pretty cool because I didn't know that this was in the works or even mentioned. But going back to that Peel Sessions episode I did, there was apparently going to be a BBC recordings box set like a lot of bands have done.
Yeah.
Well, not only all the Peel Sessions together and cleaned up, or at least just compiled, but it was going to be all the different BBC shows, that Kid Jensen thing, and all the few other little radio ones that they did in the early
Top of the Pops
years. No, Top of the Pops audio.
Top of the
Pops.
Pops.
But that'd be a good one for the video compilation.
Oh yeah,
put all the Top of the Pops on there too. That'd be really cool.
And have Jimmy Savile introduce them.
Yeah. But so yeah, that would be cool. Have all the BBC stuff together. I think everybody would love that.
Yeah. But that's another thing of where, how much of his hands would have to be in that? It's already done. You just got to have somebody spruce it up and.
Yeah, and there's probably only so much you could do to clean it up. So you're saying, it's just how much he cares. If it sounds a little rough around the edges and kind of shitty, maybe he doesn't want the ones out where he's just mumbling the lyrics because they aren't finalized yet and stuff. But
I guess so.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
At this point, that's cool. Cure fans love that shit. It's like, oh, he didn't have finished words yet. That's amazing. And
well, the John Peel, the John Peel stuff is pretty. Everybody loves collecting that shit. People put it out on different things, and everybody's got to have them just because.
Yeah, that's why I said even just those would be awesome, even if because there were other ones, but the bulk of it is just those. 6 Peel Sessions, I think. Yeah. But there's only been the first one that ever officially came out, and that was through Peel's label stuff. So that would be rad just to have those, and everybody does those. Echo and the Bunnymen recently put out all their Peel Sessions. Yeah. So it's possible. I don't know what the hang up. I would see that one being some kind of licensing shit, but the Cure's got to have enough pull to get those.
Yeah, and
without
Peel's
spending
dead.
too
Like,
much
I don't
money.
know, like,
It's like, exactly. It can't be that hard. Every other fucking band, House of Love, managed to compile them all for a I think. So it's like,
I think that is going to be one that, and sadly to say that we're going to have to wait until post Cure, post Robert Smith, kind of thing coming out. I think we're going to get possibly. I'm not saying for sure, but I think you might get something close to like a Nirvana type of like everything's going to get released kind of vault thing or Prince.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, even Nirvana though, that stuff's getting like slowly put out. I think this In Utero is supposed to come out with some extra stuff on it that hasn't seen the light of day. And I'm like, he's been dead for a long time.
It's still a moving train because they still keep putting out live stuff. And box
and Hot
sets.
Topic keeps selling tons of Nirvana shirts.
Dude, I've seen more Nirvana shirts at my job over the last year than I've probably seen in the 90s.
And all the kids at Henson's elementary school are all rocking Nirvana t-shirts.
Yeah, my buddy Terrence always yells out, "Name one song that's not Smells Like Teen Spirit." And they all just
I usually
corner
those. Yeah, I usually corner the like 6th, 5th graders at my son's school, and I'm like, "Yo, give me 3 songs now,
go." And they start naming Foo Fighters songs.
Get the fuck out of
here. They're like, "Learn to fly."
Yeah. Shame. I just yell shame.
Earn that shirt. So that'd be cool. And I guess along the lines of deluxe reissues, that's a whole thing in itself. Those just should continue at this point. They're so close to having them all out. You know, I mean, I know they're not everybody's favorites, but why have 10 of their albums and not the last 3?
What's left?
Or whatever. We got Wild Mood Swings, Blood Flowers, Self-Titled, and 413.
Those are the ones that are left. I'm good.
So I'm
good. Bottom of the list, like all the way
complete it.
Like Torn Down's below, not Torn Down, but Mixed Up is definitely below those. But like, I don't really need maybe deluxe version of Wild Mood Swings and Blood Flowers, but I don't need one for the Self-Titled or 413.
Well, I'll give you a few little facts that might change your mind. Maybe I could try to convince you. Here we go. Wild Mood Swings. We've heard a lot of demos. We know that they recorded a fucking ton of songs for that album. We spent, 4 years or something on it? Ridiculous. We know that they kind of had a mess at the end mixing it because they ran out of time and he chopped out all the mixes. So there's got to be, like when somebody mixed one of the songs that made it on the record, they probably mixed like 3 or 4 probably. Yeah. And then he just picked one. So if nothing else, there's like a whole alternate mix of the whole album, which could be good because
I'm fine with that.
Tones on that album do kind of suck, and if somebody else had a cooler approach of bringing out the drum and adding in the loop or something, couldn't make or break a song.
There was also
could be
different drummers on different songs, so you're getting different styles. I mean,
totally.
There's no horns because
they said
Club America.
That's how they auditioned. They auditioned the drummers by recording on a lot of them. So I mean, that there's alternate drum tracks, so that's kind of rad. And it's hard to say that there would be that many extra songs because there's a billion fucking B-sides for that. We've probably heard anything that's even close to finished, but there are like bootleg demos, where it's just like a really like acoustic-y card that doesn't have any vocals and shit like they always put out. So that'd be cool. I'd buy that.
I tell you what I would go for. I would go for a remix and remaster where it's all a little cohesive because it does jump from sound all over the place. And make it a double, whether it's vinyl or CD, and then give me like crazy fucking remixes of those songs. Because some of them, like if you did pull out the drums and you did like an electronic drum track and you made it a little more like, like I think there could be something to that I think I'd be into that.
I'm more into the idea of because of the historical nature of the band that was going on in that time and like how everything was kind of like the sending out of other people to do the mixes was something
Yeah.
they hadn't done before, and like a new drummer, all these moving pieces, and like I think just
Yeah.
for like posterity's sake of hearing, what the band was going through in that time, that's definitely one that I would give thumbs up to. It's definitely not above here getting the other stuff that is in danger of going extinct,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
because
think
of
it's definitely
formats.
a priorities list that
Yeah.
needs to be put together for all this. But yeah, and like I said, just the sake of not completing them all at this point
Yeah.
just drives me as like a semi-completist, I guess,
get
of
it.
wanting.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why don't they just finish the last ones? So that'd be cool. Just kind of what they did with the other ones, just a nice deluxe CD, put it all on streaming,
Yeah.
and just do like a good remaster for vinyl. I don't know. Did they even put Wild Mood Swings a non-picture disc, or was that one of the ones that only was a
I
picture
think
disc?
it was only a picture disc, unless like
Yeah.
Rhino or somebody did.
I
maybe
thought
make
there
me
was
look
another
straight.
version of it. I think it was put out on vinyl another like one pressings, and it wasn't.
After that, yeah. I know Bloodflowers didn't, but maybe Wild Mood Swings did get a regular vinyl too.
Let's see
I don't
here.
know.
We got doodle-doo. Show all 77 versions.
We'll get back to Chaz in a half hour and see.
See, there's one coming up on eBay that's a black double one UK. It says, I think it says UK.
That could have been the
in
original.
'96.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
original.
that's
Put
the
out by
original.
Elektra.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah, it's
the
got a
one I
poster
got.
inside of it. It's
Ooh.
regular black wax.
Yeah, so it's definitely one
That's
that
kinda
wasn't
cool.
released on a regular vinyl yet. I mean, but at the same time,
So there you go.
I'm pretty sure from what I've heard of those black and the blue and yellow vinyls, they are pretty good quality. So if you're looking for one, you can definitely get one of those bootlegs that came out in 2021. So, but
Cool.
yeah, rather than spending
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of
$220 or $250 on an original.
No thanks.
So
Yeah, I saw that our local shop had one that was like going for like $200 or
Yeah.
something. I was like, oof.
that's a pricey meatball.
Yeah, so that's cool. I mean, and then Bloodflowers again, kind of the same thing. It would be nice to have the official black vinyl. I'm happy with my picture
Yeah.
disc one, so that's a good
Yeah.
check that box. But when they started recording Bloodflowers, remember it was supposed to be a whole different album. So they did like Spilt Milk / Ching Chong Chang and was it Possession? I think was technically for those sessions where it was supposed to be more of a like, kind of electronic-y album, something very 2000 sounding. And then he got the idea in his head to make it the third part dark album and all that. So it shifted gears drastically. So that there's some good outtakes at least.
Oh yeah.
It would be good to have a good clean version of Spilt Milk at least, if nothing else. Recently too, with the new song that is on the leaked whatever supposed to be track listing of Songs of a Lost World, and that song that they played in LA, Another Happy Birthday, they traced back to the music of that was on the demos that had been floating around for Bloodflowers, or just some instrumentals that didn't materialize into songs.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of cool now if that comes out. So it's kind of the double whammy. If we got the new album, it would be cool to have the demo, a good quality version of Another Happy Birthday, which I think had a different name on the demo.
Yeah.
It's like Demo SR4 or something like that. so I'd be all for it. That one, of course, I guess I could use a good remastering and everything too at this point. Everything's going on 23 years old, So why not? The Tougher Sell is self-titled album for me. A deluxe reissue of self-titled. Couple good outtakes, We remember our boy Ross Robinson said all his favorite songs didn't even make it onto the album. We know that a boy.
Why would I
want
to hear that? Like that has no
there
good.
could be some really good.
There is
songs
no
just
bright
lost.
lining to that. There's no silver lining to that very, very dark cloud.
Yeah, because what he put out that he thought was good was a pile of shit. So if he thinks the other stuff is good, I don't
He
trust
said
it.
his songs are great.
Oh, I'm
and
sure they
Robert
are.
chose the shitty ones. Yeah. So I don't know.
Like I
You
said, this is the record where if you said any Cure record, let them go in and re-record it their way, I'd be like, all right, give that a shot, and I might like some
Yeah.
of this. I don't need Robert yelling. I don't need fucking like this like aggressive drum sounds. Like I'm like, oh, like cluck, cluck. Some of the I'm like, this is fucking Metallica snare. Like,
remix the whole thing would be great. I don't know if they need to dive that far into it. I don't think you could really save too many of those, but yeah, I don't know. A Boy I Never Knew is cool. That was on that session. We've heard that song live, and that's a cool one. So one song would be worth the deluxe edition.
I'm concerned that Robert's going to be doing a Korn style vocals in one of the songs, and that scares me. Yeah. It's like, oh god.
It got close a few times.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's all scatting and shit.
yeah.
Yeah, so that one, and at some point, I guess people would like to have it on vinyl. I lucked out and bought it when it came out, so I have it. But at the same time, I don't know. I guess it's probably pretty expensive. How much is an original of that going for these days?
See, that was one that I bought, when it came out, and I bought a couple copies of it, and like I traded one of them for I forget what it was. It might have been a greatest hits. I don't remember, but like then it started going for like an insane price.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, this is fucking nuts. Are you
There's some
serious?
up on eBay for like $350, and I'm like, and it's literally that's priced just for completists because nobody's spending that to be like, oh, can't wait to drop this record on and just zone out.
The median price on Discogs is $189. The highest is $308, and the lowest is $50.
God.
Which is still too much for that album. $50 is way too much for that album.
I might buy it for $20 somewhere used just to put it in my collection, but I think that's my cap.
Yeah, I traded my two off, so my two other ones off.
Yeah, like I mean, like I have an original copy of the top on vinyl, but I don't listen to it.
Yeah.
I literally have it just so that it's in my, in the fold.
And a lot of that I blame just on how stupid records have gotten with the collector thing, the prices.
Yeah.
That's my side argument. It was just like, shit's just gotten so ridiculous with the pricing. That's all going to bottom out at some fucking point, too.
Yeah.
So, but...
I would say the only thing they need to do with the self-titled album is just put it on picture disc if you're going to do all the picture discs.
Yeah,
right.
Just do something super simple for that. Put out one deluxe CD version, or just put it on streaming. Even I don't even need the fucking CD.
Yeah.
I just want the bonus tracks or the left off ones, Because my CD doesn't even have Going Nowhere. I think it was like all of them, but the U.S. copies had Going Nowhere on as like an extra track on it. Could condense that whole thing into a maxi single or whatever. But anyway, let's move on. 413 actually has a better argument, maybe
because I think it has better. It has
more stuff. I don't know if it's better. But
it has better songs
factor.
On it. We went over this before. I think there's at least 4 to 5 great to good songs on here.
Yeah.
So,
and just to refresh everybody, the whole initial idea was double album. Robert was real bent out of shape when they've narrowed it down to a single album. So if nothing else, a reissue would be cool just to hear this, elusive 414 scream. He would later start calling it as the second disc of that album. So another factor is, like we said earlier, Step Into the Light, and more importantly, I Can Never Say Goodbye, supposedly confirmed that they came from those sessions. So just those two songs would make a second disc pretty cool, because I'd take both those over 2 songs easily on the album.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool, and the fact that it is done for the most part, so it should be a pretty fucking easy... put it together. It's not like they were halfway through it and then they decided to just do the one album. So they should all be mixed and done.
Yeah.
If not, a good remixing of that album would probably be a smart idea anyway, because there's definitely some mixing issues. I think a lot of people would agree with on that.
Is everything done, or is everything done except the vocals?
I think everything was finished as a double album, and then at the last minute they said we got to bump this all down into one. So I got the impression everything was finished. That's why it was extra killing him, because he had it all ready to go.
Okay.
It
wasn't like
done,
that album. Yeah, and it wasn't like that album was disc one. He had to pick and choose the sequencing from those the full album. So that's why it's also kind of all over the fucking place. So the original Vision version would be cool, you know?
Yeah.
So I'd be down for that. He got on a fucking rant, which is funny. This one came up a ton in like interviews of how he was going to put out 414 Scream, and it's already done. The more interesting part was later. It said 414 Dream had a deluxe rumor attached to it as well. Robert said, "My plan," this is the full actual Robert quote, "My plan this sunny spring Monday at the end of March is to get to the point in the next month or 3 where we can release a limited edition of 426 Dream. That would be the double CD album of 26 songs, all remixed. The original 413 Dream Sessions concept album, including the instrumentals with words." So I guess they wouldn't be instrumentals at that point, of which 10 tracks or more will be previously unreleased. So I think they say that's the whole initial vision of the double album. Then he wants to put out a limited edition 414 Scream single CD with 14 previously unreleased ones, albeit some of them may also be on the double album. But these 414 Scream versions will also have words and vocals. So two big plans there. I think that's when he was real big on the idea of releasing it in some form. He was going to break it up into a whole bunch of packages, however big or small you wanted to go with it. But when the hell was that? That was in 2014, I guess. So so then he got big on the idea. I think once Reeves was pretty much cemented into the band, that it wasn't the band anymore. You know, that lineup. He didn't want to put out a version or didn't want to re-release the album. Whatever. So what were we saying?
But what's it? It's got to be infuriating to be married to this fool.
He's like, I got an idea.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to take out the trash today, and then 3 days later, it's overflowing, and like you're just like, what? He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to take it out now and put a new bag in it, and like 3 days later, it's still overflowing.
Man. Yeah, that's the artist lifestyle, you know, and ideas,
I was
man.
bad.
So whatever the fuck version of that, you could probably squeeze out a pretty hefty deluxe edition. You know, like we said, just put it out. That one even is probably going pretty high on old vinyl, the original. So you could probably get a good reissue.
Median price on Discogs is $90, but there's 7 on sale right now, starting at 117. And if they're at 117, they're probably in Europe.
So you're paying another 117 for shipping.
Italy, Australia, Germany, Greece, Austria. So you're paying another $20-$40 for shipping. So, you know, and that's the US version.
Yeah. You got to get all the countries. This was again probably not the one to end on for music there. I guess we're not. This is the third disc of Kiss Me outtakes. He said in some interview, I didn't have the direct quote on that one. When Kiss Me came out, he said, "Man, there was so much shit for Kiss Me. We actually have a whole third disc of outtakes that nobody's even heard."
I don't care.
At this point, I'm like, at that era,
there is not. Like, I'm just feeling like this is all just like he thought there was, but there's definitely not.
Yeah, I can't imagine anything would be too amazing by that point. Yeah, there's so much for Kiss Me.
If it was that much cut out, there's a reason.
Yeah. So we'll move on from that one since that's probably never going to fucking come out. Anyway, so the big epic finale then on music, maybe, would be Songs of a Lost World, the new album that I can't even remember now when the hell it must have been around the Meltdown Festival. Was that 2018?
Because we were all laughing about it. We were just like, that's the worst.
So even if
He was really into
yeah,
the
and I mean
moon.
that took like 2 years to even get the title.
Yeah.
Remember, it was just the new album for a
Was
lot.
it-
Oh, it was Songs from the Moon.
I was gonna say,
Live
wasn't it
from
Songs from the Moon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Live from the Moon. Yeah, we did. There's a whole episode we did with Donald of predictions of songs live
Yeah.
from the moon or whatever. I want to listen to it again and see.
And then we
I'm
sent
waiting
Donald to the
for
moon.
another year. Yeah, and then we went. He's still there.
Yeah,
Actually.
yeah.
He's still on the moon. We got to get this guy home. He's got to be running out of weed.
Oh my
by now.
god, I completely forgot about that. Like, yeah, Robert was like really fucking into the moon and like the
Yeah.
moon landing and shit. And like,
Gorilla song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that,
like-
yeah, that video was like,
dude, how much of psilocybin did you take? Jesus Christ.
And yeah, that's still the album. Those are the songs we're hearing. The Blood Red Moon we looked at every night of the show.
Yep.
So I don't know. I mean, it's hard to even speculate at this point. It's got to be, even if they totally scrapped it and re-recorded it, I feel like they could crank it all out pretty much in a month that they've been off at this point, especially those 6 songs. Those 5 songs sound fucking great. You know, that's a whole episode in itself we'll do before it actually does materialize of what we're expecting, what it could have been. But yeah, this thing has become a weird enigma in itself. Where
Yeah.
it's got to be a done version at this point, even if it's not sent off to the presses. So they're just listening to it. He's just gradually tweaking one little thing on the EQ every 2 weeks or something. I don't fucking know. We even confirmed, I think, what Paul Corkett, the guy that produced Blood Flowers, I believe Roger said he was doing the in-house sound for the tour, and he also did the new album. I think that got confirmed.
If he did the sound for the tour and the new album, I can't wait. I really can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, that's
oh yeah.
what I feel
Phenomenal.
like. Even if they just put those out live, like we've said, that would be fucking
Yep.
great. Just to have those 5-6 songs on an EP even would be amazing at this
Yeah.
point. If they totally hated everything they've already recorded, they sound great.
Well, that's my biggest concern is it's going to be another 413 where you're going to
Yeah.
have 5 great songs and then you're going to have Freak Show.
That's fine.
I guess so. I guess yes, it is fine. It is. I'm not saying it's not fine. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
I think there's so much build up with those 5 songs with how great
Yeah,
they
I
were
don't
that
know.
like you're kind of expecting the other 4 to 5 plus to be.
I
of the
totally
same
accept the
caliber.
fact that they're like totally unmemorable, boring songs, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
You know, because he's not sitting on another fucking Just Like Heaven or something. They would have played it at the shows if one of
Yeah.
those extra songs is like so awesome. If anything, they're just even more mega depressing that he couldn't even put them into that set.
The
you know,
Exploding
kinda like
Boy
the-
and Halo are all B-sides though, Donovan.
True.
I mean Donovan, Gavin, sorry.
I know. I was like,
No
oh.
problem. But yeah, I mean, it's always a possibility. But so I can't imagine though that they played that many shows and not. If he felt like he had even just another huge banger, they would have.
I don't know.
Pulled that
Yeah,
out,
I
too,
don't. But
but,
that's concerning me even more, Gavin. Like you're saying that, like there's no better songs. Like those are
Yeah,
the
I mean,
pinnacle,
I
and
think-
all the rest are shit.
But they won't be bad, like round and round and round. They'll just be boring. They'll just be kind of like another Happy Birthday one where they're just real
Yeah.
plotting and kind of. They just probably will be like that, more mood, deep cut setting it, which I'm fine with. That'll be cool, you know. And yeah, I don't know. But even the bigger question then, because we'll save this because I'm sure this fucking album's going to come up 20 more times in the next year or so. So
Yeah,
we'll hold off
probably.
on all those. But remember, of course, we call bullshit on this one right off the bat. I feel pretty good about that. The 2 other albums we're supposed to get from this one, remember? It very quickly became, oh yeah, there's also a whole nother finished album of poppier songs
Right.
that aren't going to be on this. So that was going to be the pop album.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the Robert Smith solo / noise record.
I forgot about
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think we were
So
all
that was
screaming
gonna
like,
come.
just put out the one album,
just
please,
the
for the
one-
love
Yeah,
of
just
God.
give me one good finished album. That's all I want.
Yeah. And that kind of bleeds into the Robert Smith solo albums we've been hearing about. You know, we did an episode on that where it's 83, 89, 96. They usually, I think, morphed into actual Cure albums. The way he was saying he had all these songs for solo album and it became Disintegration. You know, the 83 ones, I think, mutated into top songs a lot. I think a few of the ones even turned into Wild Mood Swings at that point because he was thinking about doing a solo album when the band was falling apart. So I think hard to say if there are finished Robert solo albums just sitting on his shelf somewhere. Could be, but I kind of feel like if he had good songs, he's probably using them for Cure records at that point. It would be kind of silly to have this imaginary career that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
As a solo artist. But you never know. He's a weird dude. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, those are 3 numerous albums that we may never hear, or maybe we'll get someday. And then, of course, to top off all the actual audio with the elusive Dave Allen mix of Wish, which we'll never hear.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
That
fun to add to the mix.
That might be, I don't know if that's got to be up there the most soul crushing of all of these, of stuff that you know is in existence. And then
you're pretty sure you'll never.
Yeah. I'd like to add in a little numerical conspiracy that we used to do. So we have 1992, Wish. Okay. 4 years later, we have Wild Mood Swings.
Okay. Yes.
4 years after that, we have Blood Flowers. And then 4 years after that, we have Self-Titled. And then 4 years after that, we have another album. We have 413. So, and then multiples is going to be 16. So we have 16 years since the last album, which will be next year.
I love it. Yeah. Oh, I felt so defeated when we missed the 4-year window for the next one.
Yeah.
Then we missed the 8-year. Then
it's multiples.
12. I think stopped. I can't multiply that high.
Yeah. He used to be in love with 3s. Now he loves 4s.
Yeah.
413, guys.
Because the 4 thing stuck for a long time. Every 4 years, it was like high school, college years. Next year's baby years.
Yeah, seriously.
Years I've been in the nursing home waiting for this fucking album. But well, that's encouraging.
Trying to give a little hope to our friends out there.
Yeah, so next year to 2024.
It'll be 16 years since the last
16.
album.
Nice. Oh. Damn. Well, I was hoping for before Christmas, but we'll take next year if that makes more sense.
Hey, chill with the Christmas. It's a Halloween.
I'm not doing the.
It's mid-October already. Like, they would have released a pre-order by now, I think.
My dad will be at the game. I swear, any minute now. He's gonna show up.
He's gonna roll up in his Nova. I swear.
Yeah. My daddy's a big rock star, and he's gonna.
Oh no.
He came off a tour just to see me.
Yeah. So I guess as we wind down the list here, we don't need to dwell on the books too long, but he kind of did drop a few times throughout the years that 10 Imaginary Years would probably get an update. But
to 50 Imaginary
about
Years.
30 years. So now he's got 30 plus years to catch up on. So that's going to be more time consuming than the video documentary, I think. So somebody else is going to do that. I don't know if it'll be authorized or what, but
he should just find an amazing music writer, the historical music writer, and work with them. I don't imagine it would be relatively too time consuming, other than reading and editing and what he doesn't like. But he doesn't.
And I don't recall that Simon Price book's coming out, and it's supposed to be in November. I think mine got pushed back to December, so it's a Curopedia. So that should be pretty fucking thorough. The box will definitely be checked.
Yeah, for sure.
I know it has pretty official artwork with it. I don't know if he talked to any of them, or Robert in particular. So I don't recall it saying like authorized biography by any means or anything, but
I'm pretty sure you'd have the Cure coming out with some kind of like link or like this is our official.
Yeah, they put it on their website if it was. But that's kind of better really when it comes to books. I like the ones that are not.
Oh yeah.
If Robert had his hand in it, he would be like, scratch this, don't want to talk about this.
Put that in there.
So
some of the coolest music books I own aren't from the band. So
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah, because
depends
sometimes
the
they
last
won't
people
say
you
the
ask.
things that people want said.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Along those lines too, at one point when Cured came out, Lowell's book, he's got the new one out, but Pearl and Lowell were supposed to put out a comic by this point. I remember him making an announcement saying that they had worked on a comic together, and I don't know if it was Cure related or just a whole different topic that he wrote the comic and Pearl did
Right,
the
yeah.
artwork for. So that, and then I remember hearing at one point too that Lowell said that he'd sold the Cured rights or something for a film where they were going to make I think maybe that was one of those deals where they just buy the option kind of thing, you know? So
Yeah.
if anybody does make a Cured film, somebody
can
owns the
sue 'em.
rights to the whatever. So I don't think that officially got too far, but some things maybe that are also hanging out in Cure Purgatory. So in conclusion, in the last few years, we did get our deluxe wish, so we weren't able to bitch about that too much. I know Chaz was happy when we got our deluxe mixed up, you know. So finally got that itch scratched. So tried to think of things that we did get. You got a mega tour, so that's
Yep.
really nice. And we got, some picture disc reissues, so those are cool. But it's tough to say how many of these things will materialize at some point or keep getting talked about or just pop up out of nowhere or just go straight to cure hell as opposed to wherever it may, if they'll redeem their sin and go to cure heaven and be in our hands at some point. But
Yeah,
so I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that some of these are actually in hell and will never
Yeah, a lot
be
of these are pretty
redeemed.
dead, I think.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, if you could pick an ultimate one out of the whole list, was there one that you would want on the top? As we talked about, priorities is definitely got to be a factor for these.
I mean, the David Allen Wish one is always probably going to be the number one thing on my always want list now that I know it exists.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean the box set, but out of all the things that we talked about, probably in orange.
Yeah.
Just because it has the most date on it, and it's the one that wasn't really released on a suitable long-term format. So that's the one, just preservation's sake and like fan sake.
Yeah.
I that's the one I'd want the most. So yeah.
Good choice, Antonio.
Well,
Do you have
are we
number one?
adding new album to that or
I think so.
Oh
Yeah,
my
we
God,
do-
you didn't say that.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe let's say one video, one audio. How about that? So you got
Yeah. New album and then I think the documentary, if we're gonna
Yeah.
for video wise. I think that's something
Mm,
because that's something that we don't have any of necessarily. Just these tons of, like, you know, like I said, like, you know, random people on YouTube talking like melancholy
Right.
over like bad pictures of the Cure and
Right.
trying to tell
Yeah.
the story, you know. So to
Like
really
fake versions of the songs.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. To really have something that gives us like, you know, a real deep dive look and some answers on some things that were either assumed or he alluded to. You know, I think
Yeah.
that would be
something
cool.
I really would love.
Super 8 footage of him opening his first
Ye-
guitar as a little boy.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Like,
It's just
you
a
know,
part of that I don't want to disagree on, but like the fact that it doesn't exist, so it's not something that like
Yeah,
I don't know that we're in
it's-
danger of losing, like
Right,
in orange.
Yeah, it seems like a little
Um,
more wishful thinking, and yeah, it would take work, like I said. So that's
Oh,
definitely a
yeah.
huge commitment for him for like years. Probably would have to sit down and every
Yeah,
other
but
shot
I
of
would.
this.
I'm on board with you. I would absolutely love a Cure documentary, but
That'd be great.
yeah, it would be. It would. Yeah, I don't know how that would happen. It would. Yeah, you'd have. I don't know if Lowell would be involved with it or what. Like it's.
Yeah, it'd be great if we got everybody.
Yeah.
Man, it seems like if they all showed up, even if it was to tell their harsher side of the story, that'd be even better. You know,
Yeah.
if it had. I mean, compared to most bands, they don't really have too much drama in their
Not that we know of,
history.
so-
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe that's why we haven't heard it.
Yeah.
He's keeping that shit buried. But What about audio, Chaz? Would the new album be your audio choice out of
man.
all these?
I feel like I'm being a moron if I don't say the new album. So, but like,
well, I guess you said the Dave Allen
yeah,
version. So
yeah,
you
but that's
can do
like that.
both those.
Yeah,
choices.
but that does exist. That's the thing. That exists.
Yeah,
And like,
Yeah.
probably more than the real
Yeah.
album or the new album.
and like just the idea of hearing a disintegration style of Wish is like, it like hurts my, it physically hurts me that like that it's not
I wonder
out
how
there.
drastically different it would be. It's hard to
Yeah,
say.
and
it could be like only a producer would even notice the fucking difference.
Yeah.
He's like, don't you hear that hi-hat? It's
Maybe,
just a little
yeah.
bit higher. And you're just like, really?
Yeah, but
This was all the fuss was over this.
but then we have the new songs that are already out there. Like we can listen to them
Yeah.
and we know what they are. So
I
there's
know, I
like
want to just hear them again.
yeah,
and
there's like an
good
uncertainty
quality.
there that I cling on to. But like yeah, I don't know. For the 414 thing,
Yeah.
kind of I don't know. It piques my curiosity.
Ah, you want that
But
deluxe triple?
I just want to hear what it is. Like you guys have it. I want to hear what it fucking is. Like I've heard the new
Yeah,
songs and they're great, but like don't keep these secrets from me.
Yeah, totally.
Which I don't like.
So here's a random question for you from the box set, like you were
Yeah.
saying. Okay, would you rather a box set of all the studio albums in one, like
Yeah.
one set, okay, or would you rather have a box set of all this unreleased stuff and demos and the 420 whatever would you
don't
rather
A box set of all the ones that are already out.
all a box set of all the studio albums in one beautiful box set, okay,
Eh.
or a box set of kind of like another Join the Dots, but like everything else that's never seen
Yeah.
the light of day from an audio standpoint.
Yeah, I gotta
Songs
go with
that
the
got
rare
cut, various versions.
You gotta go with
shit.
what?
All that shit.
What do you want to go with?
All the unreleased,
All the
stuff,
unreleased
rare stuff. Yeah, I mean, we got the albums and so
Yeah.
many forms.
Join
It's
the
like-
Dots was so cool, and that's another thing that like should have been released on vinyl, but never
yeah,
never
got to
it's
it.
a big-
That would sell like fucking crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
even if it
Like
cost a
crazy.
fortune.
Well, yeah, I
people
was gonna say it'd also probably have to be like you couldn't do it on 180 gram vinyl because it would end up being like
5,000 pounds. You'd have to do
Yeah.
a wheelbarrow to get it in your house.
yeah, it would have to be regular vinyl, and it would probably have to be three records.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
most likely four would make the most sense, but
Depends how much
I-
they have.
I
Yeah.
would buy it without even blinking an eye.
They could milk that wonderfully too, in the sense of like just putting out disc one on vinyl at the beginning of the year, then like 4 months later put out the next
Yeah.
one, and then
Yeah,
and
like
then it's
make it-
a
gotta catch 'em
transformer
all.
that yeah,
But like
I mean,
even if they
and-
dropped it, it was 4 records. Like I would probably drop $100 on that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, put a cool ass fucking poster in it. Like
Yeah.
have it
that's a
come with
digital
like
download
a
for-
book. Yeah, a little book
Yeah.
with a few pages of different. I'd be like, I'd cream all over that.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can edit that if you want.
Gotta love the enthusiasm on this show, people say they don't care, they just hate on the
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
I thought you were gonna say either all the studio records or all the singles in a box set. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
know.
pretty cool. Well, for my selections, I would go with the videos box set, like a whole compilation of all their music videos, because I just love music videos. And of course, the new album would be my audio choice, I think. But and then I guess a good point to wrap up on too is the idea that as much as this drives us fucking crazy in Cure Purgatory, it's nice that they are a band that doesn't do the cash grab, like I was just saying, milk it, put out a record every 3 months, I mean, it would be so easy to accuse them of just putting the same shit out, even though you see that a little bit with the picture disc and like, oh, well, you're just doing a money grab reissue. I'm like, nah, man, this stuff is cool. And they could be doing tons of that and way more, just to make a few bucks here and there, so it's pretty respectful that that's the flip side of it. It's nice that they're not trying to milk us.
Yeah,
or
if that's
bleed
it,
us
well,
dry,
if that's anything,
but
that,
even though,
I mean, we 100% learned that just based on the Ticketmaster battle and the pricing of the merch on the last tour. I mean, it's just, again, I'm still going to see bands at like St. Vitus in tiny 200 cap rooms that are charging like, $15 more for a t-shirt and 25 more for a sweatshirt
Yeah.
than the Cure was charging.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like,
it's fucking ridiculous.
I'm like, you're barely on a label, you're in a Ford, like broken down 8640 Econoline van touring, and this is, and you're charging me $45 for a t-shirt. Like,
Yeah.
Right. It's like,
get out of here.
Yeah. It's like, so pretty cool. And I guess in closing then, unless you had any other final thoughts on Purgatory,
No.
I guess we wrap up with it. Everyone's all depressed now.
No, but like,
This is
even in the recap, we did get some good stuff this year. We got a great tour. We got, we got all our Wish stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, and who knows too? Maybe now, I mean, I'm going to theorize. Maybe the record's taking a little bit longer because when they do drop it, maybe we're going to get some video footage from the tour from some. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like,
there's always something cool. Yeah, whatever does trickle out, it'll be cool. So
I think they definitely could have done, if they did some video footage and put together like a DVD, Songs of the Lost World, like tour DVD, it would be great because they sounded so good. They played so many different fucking songs. Like, could you imagine if we got a DVD that was like all 59 songs, at least one shot of all of them kind of pieced together?
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
That'd be sick.
It would be.
As much as I didn't even say it out loud. Like, we're going through the live thing, or I'm like, we're kind of good on like later Cure live DVDs, and shit. Where they're always cool, and I'll buy them and watch them. But like, the live, thing of just like the anniversary kind of covered it. I think, as much as I would love one for this last tour because we were there and shit, would be cool. But at the same time, you don't really need to beat that dead horse when you got all this other shit you could put out too.
Yeah.
So, but that would be rad, especially for those 5 new songs or 6 new songs, and even just put it as a bonus thing with the album when it comes out, like you're saying, would be cool. So very cool. I guess let's bring it back to Halloween real quick. Is there an Ultimate Cure full album, since we usually do singles? What is your ultimate Halloween if you're going to play the full one? Out of all their albums, which one would you put on if you can only choose one Halloween full Ultimate Cure album?
I'm kind of been tossing back and forth between two. Son of a bitch.
Part of me,
I lean into it.
I mean, just Disintegration, just because of Lullaby. But I mean, if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Pornography.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was jotting them down. It feels like it has to be either 17 Seconds, Faith, Pornography, or Disintegration, right? Just to narrow the scope a little bit. Disintegration, like you're saying, it is so dark, but it's so like love heavy in relationships. Other than like Lullaby and a few like Prayers for Rain and shit you can put on there, but like a lot of times it's too just like sad relationship stuff as opposed to like Pornography is just straight up fucking evil. 17 Seconds is creepy, and then Faith is just kind of sad religion. Like, but it is more gothic-y, just as far as sound, even if you're not picking apart the lyrics or anything. It's just kind of spooky, I guess. But so you're going with Pornography, you think, Chaz?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I'll go with 17 Seconds just because I like the creepy vibe of it.
Okay.
And I'm actually going with Faith.
All right. So you're going for that full vampire gothic?
Yeah. I think it's,
in the castle. Yes. Well, great. We cover the whole dark era wonderfully.
Exactly.
With our tradition of sort of answers as a finale, we'll say just play all 3 of the dark era albums at your Halloween party and you'll be good to go.
Yeah.
Back to back. Cool. Well, thank you so much, guys. Thanks everyone for listening out there. If you do dress up in anything Cure themed, always send us your picture. Feel free to tag us in it. I love seeing Robert costumes for Halloween or any other Halloween themed Cure stuff. So thanks so much and have a wonderful spooktacular Halloween, I guess.
Always check for razor blades, kids. Always
don't forget.
Give them to your kids.
Parent or guardian, check your candy. Yes. Know your candy dealer. All right. Goes in, say talk hard. Have a happy Halloween. Yip, yip, yip. All right, again, a very special thank you to Chaz and Antonio and you guys for listening. Please consider joining our Patreon. Once a month, I put up a bonus mini episode called The Holy Half Hour, and each tier comes with its own welcoming gifts. So please check out the details at patreon.com/The Holy Hour Podcast. We'd love to have you in our Cool Kids Club. Now, Gleep Glop, the promo droid, is going to read off some shout outs to our loyal Patreon members.
Thank you, Gavin. Shoutouts include Donna, Craig, Jeff Hilton, Jeff Cortland Jones, Sue, Ben, John, Allen, Allison, Dion, Namisio, Matt, Danny, Coulter, Matt Ford, Tom Johnson, Tom Burns, Letty, John Roberts, Francisco, Jason, Craig Belanger, Amber, Nicholas, and Jessica.
Thank you, Gleep Glop. And Tim, of course, is a loyal Patreon member and part of New Waterloo, a company that owns and operates 5 super rad hotels, including the South Congress Hotel in Austin, Texas, the Waymore's Guest House in Nashville, Tennessee, the Revival in Baltimore, El Capitan in Merced, California, and coming in 2024, the Albert in Fredericksburg, Texas. Scott Kruger over at the Sarlacc Digest is part of easily the best Star Wars podcast this side of the galaxy. Every Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube, you can catch their live episodes or catch the replays everywhere you listen to podcasts. They do a really great job of diving into every little detail and sifting through all those bullshit rumors out there and filling you in on what you need to know as far as upcoming Star Wars content. And the best part is that they are an absolute blast to listen to. Check them out Wednesday nights on YouTube, 8 p.m. Pacific time. Our pal Dana is an incredibly gifted motion designer and animator. Check out her work at graphics.tv. That's graphics with an X.tv. If you need some animation to promote your business or project, reach out, see what Dana can do for you. Kate from CureThreads.com is doing an amazing job keeping up with CureTober on Instagram. That campaign rolled out earlier this month. October is winding down, but you can still get in on the action. Create Cure-inspired art each day of the month based on a designated song. You can check out the full list and past contributions at Cure Arts Collab on Instagram. Make some art, hashtag it CureTober, and tag it Cure Arts Collab, and you'll be ready to go and part of the action. Then reward yourself by buying some badass Cure-inspired merch over at CureThreads.com. It won't even take 6 months to get to you. How nice is that? And if you are looking to celebrate Halloween out on the town and you're up in Calgary, you can go check out Dickens. Lisa will be there Halloween night for sure. The Boulay brothers will be performing as Dragula, followed by a viewing party of Aftershock. So go to dickensyyc.com and find out all the gory details. Or hit up the coolest goth bar in Little Rock, Arkansas, Club Nevermore. Looks like they've been celebrating Halloween all month long, but Tuesday's bound to be no exception. So go to clubnevermore.com and check out the details and all upcoming goth events. And of course, our man Chaz has another podcast, the Excommunication Station, where he and Donovan and Chrissy dive into the dark side of the church. See what they've got on deck for Halloween. It's bound to be absolutely terrifying. And you can find that everywhere you listen to podcasts as well. As for us, just subscribe. You don't want to miss out on any upcoming shows. And like our Facebook page and follow the Holy Hour Podcast on Instagram. Always feel free to email me at gavinconner@gmail.com. And if you have any questions or comments. Hope you have a wonderful official Halloween. Let us know which Cure Purgatory item you've loved to have in your candy bag this year. Thanks so much for listening.
Talk art.